when our beloved Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam prophesied, when holding on to Islam in its pristine form will be like holding on to burning coals, and also mention that Islam in its infancy stages was considered something strange, something different, against the grain of society. In Makkah Mukarramah in the early days, Bada al-Islamu ghariba, and then we know the ascendancy and the spread and the domination of Islam in different parts of the world. But our beloved Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam prophesies that in end times, saya'ud kama bada, Islam will once again be considered a stranger, something different, something against the general trend and grain of society. So much so that they will be ridiculed. We know various derogatory titles given to the people of Iman, that they are the ones who are backwards, they are dogmatic, they are the ones who are the Puritans, they are the ones who are the terrorists, fundamentalists. And very importantly, note in light of this hadith, a recent phrase that is being coined, separatists, that those who want to be different from the rest of society. But what does our beloved Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam say? Tuba lil ghuraba. Glad tidings for those who are considered the strangers, the separatists of the time. And who are they? Alladhina yuslihuna ma afsada an-nas min ba'di min sunnati. That those who will make a concerted effort to rectify my sunnah after it has been corrupted, attempts have been made to change the Mubarak sunnah of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They are the ones, in the words of our beloved Nabi Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam, for whom there is extreme glad tidings. The holding on to deen will come with its challenges, but the immense glad tidings, the benefits in dunya and akhirah, no words can ever describe. We make dua that Allah Ta'ala grants qabuliya and acceptance. Inshallah, we will here thereafter have a rendition of an English bayan alerting to the same fitan, trials and tribulations by one of the graduating students, Maulana Usama Khan from the USA.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين محمد وآله وأصحابه أجمعين أما بعد. قال الله تبارك وتعالى في القرآن المجيد: أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا قوا أنفسكم وأهليكم نارا. صدق الله العظيم. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم: يصبح الرجل مؤمنا ويمسي كافرا ويمسي مؤمنا ويصبح كافرا أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. Beloved and honorable asatidha, ulama kiram, esteemed guests and listeners, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Our discussion today will be on prophesized fitan and their prophesized solutions. Again, prophesized fitan and their prophesized solutions. When we wake up in the morning, we take our cell phones out, we want to check what's up, what's the latest. We open up our phones, we start scrolling through our social media. And as we scroll through social media, we want to see what's happening, and we start feeding our minds with various kinds of content. And something to note is the way that we feed our bodies with food, we feed our minds with information. And this information has an effect on the way that we see the world, the way that we think, the perspective at which we understand things, what we deem to be good, what we deem to be evil. Many argue the benefits of social media and the internet and so on. Let's put that to the side for a moment. Let's take it from a different angle. We're swiping through social media, and we open a seemingly harmless video, and we don't even realize as the video goes that there's music playing in the background. We maybe open another video, and a strange woman appears on the screen. We're not allowed to look at even a strand of her hair, but now we see so much more. This is attacking amongst the many values, one of our core values, al-haya'u shu'batun min al-iman, our modesty. And it gets to such an extent where Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam has prophesied, where he said that if a person loses his modesty, فَفْعَلْ مَا شِئْتَ فَاصْنَعْ مَا شِئْتَ, they may as well do as they please. And that is exactly what we see happening today. Where people throw slogans out there, my body, my choice, Na'udhu billah min dhalik. And I can do what I want. It's my freedom. I can love who I want, and so on and so forth. This is a consequence of the loss of modesty. The same immorality, something similar that was done by the nation of Lut alayhi salam, they were destroyed. And what did Allah Ta'ala say about them? مَا سَبَقَكُمْ بِهَا مِنْ أَحَدٍ مِنَ الْعَالَمِينَ. That no nation before had ever committed such an immorality. And today we've taken it many steps forward. Another attack that we see through the use of this kind of content is that we start to become desensitized to sin. Where we are watching this video, we don't even realize the music is playing in the background. We don't even realize that we're looking at these strange women. We don't realize the attack that it's having on our spiritual light and on our iman. When Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam explained the different levels of iman, the weakest point Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam explained after, if we are unable to stop the sin or the fitna with our hands or with our tongues, then the least that we can do is feel that it is wrong in our heart. There are many people who may not actively take part in a sin or a fitna, but in their heart they feel that they have the freedom of choice, they have the freedom to do so. This itself is against the teaching of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. This is against our core value of Islam. We see another misconception. Individuals nowadays sometimes believe that Islam and other religions are on the same platform, that they equate other religions with Islam. And they start to say things as the core values and the core divinity of these religions are the same. It's just that they differ in their unessential values. But Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam taught us very clearly that salvation only lies in Islam. Inna ad-deena inda Allahi al-Islam. The only religion that is haqq in the eyes of Allah Ta'ala is Islam. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam taught us the superiority of Islam. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam did it with such confidence, and he did it with such opposition to the other religions. Jewish people at time would say that it seems as if this man has come just to stand in opposition to us. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam also laid out a balance. Yes, we respect individuals on the basis of humanity and them being human beings. But when it comes to our religion, when it comes to our creed, there's no compromise there. We're not ready to give up one ayah of the Qur'an, one message of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And we believe that what we have is haqq from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, there are many reasons we can say that these sort of ideas come about. But one that we see is the misunderstanding of the following concept. There are three ways in which a human being is able to get information. Number one is through our senses. And this is shared across all species, whether human or not, using the senses to get information. But this is very limited. Number two is our intellect. Where the senses end, our intellect is able to give us a bit more. The success in life. But our intellect is also limited. And where our intellect ends is the third, and that is divine revelation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This divine revelation is such that it shows us the path to success in this world as well as the next. Now, where is the misunderstanding? Sometimes individuals feel that the intellect is at the top. And if divine revelation and everything else falls in line, alhamdulillah, or else we won't take it. But as a believer, we put divine revelation on the top. We can say that our intellects lack and they fall short, but we don't believe for a moment that divine revelation can fall short, that there can be a mistake in divine revelation. Never. Wahi, divine revelation, is the yardstick that we judge by. We may misunderstand something, but we follow it because it's the hukum of my Allah. Now, with these different issues, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam also gave us the prophetic solution. Number one, to hold on to the Qur'an-i-Kareem. The Qur'an-i-Kareem is just as relevant today as it was 1444 years ago. And it will continue to be relevant. Number two, to hold on to the sunnah of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam. We all claim to love Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and we should. But how can we love someone that we do not know? We need to read the seerah, the life of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, learn about the sunnah of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and with confidence carry that sunnah into the world. As Maulana Burhaan mentioned beautifully, طُوبَى لِلْغُرَبَاء, that glad tidings be to the strangers. So what if we stand out? Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam gave us the confidence through which we can stand out into the world. The way that we carry ourselves, the way that we dress, the way that we look. So what if we look different? We have something that's different from everyone else. We have iman. One message that I want us to take home in today's time, amongst the many values of Islam that are being attacked, one is haya, modesty, as we mentioned earlier. In a world where our sisters are, when the world wants to unveil our sisters, and the world wants us to dress immodestly and dress in ways that put us down, we will carry the libas and the clothing of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, the sunnah method of dressing shown to us by Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, the ummahatul mu'mineen and the sahaba kiram ridwanullahi alayhim ajma'in. Because we know the value lies in covering ourselves and where we choose who gets to look at us. Not where every passing person can steal a gaze and carry on. Imam Qurtubi rahmatullah alayhi narrates a incident that took place in the Bani Israel under the ayah كَمَثَلِ الشَّيْطَانِ إِذْ قَالَ لِلْإِنسَانِ كْفُرْ فَلَمَّا كَفَرَ قَالَ إِنِّي بَرِيءٌ مِّنْكَ إِنِّي أَخَافُ اللَّهَ رَبَّ الْعَالَمِينَ. Once there was a pious individual. He would spend most of his time in his monastery worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. 3 brothers, they need to go out for some work. It's going to take time until they return. They're looking for someone who can take responsibility for their sister. But they can't find anyone. After a lot of looking around and frantically searching, they come to the conclusion that this pious saint, this is the person who's going to take care of our sister. So they approach him. The saint says, sorry, this is not my cup of tea. I can't do this. They insist until the saint finally gives in and says, okay, I'll take care of her under the condition she's going to remain in this house, and I'm going to just leave the food at the door, and from there it's her business. The conditions are put, the brothers leave. Some time carries on, and Shaitan puts some thought in the mind of this saint and says, now she has to come out to collect the food. Why don't you put the food in the house so it makes it easier for her? People won't look at her when she comes out. So he starts doing this. Some time passes. Now Shaitan puts another thought in his mind. This woman has been so lonely for so long. Why don't you go and just make salam? Say a few words so she feels comfortable. So it goes from a salam, long story short, a salam goes to a conversation at the door. A conversation at the door goes to a conversation in the house. A conversation in the house goes to a relationship. A relationship goes to fornication. Fornication leads to a child. And now he's in deep business. What's going to happen? When the brothers come back, they're going to ask me, what am I going to say? They trusted me with their sister. Get rid of the evidence. Shaitan says, murder the child. He murders the child. He carries out this heinous crime. But there's a witness. What if she tells the brothers? He murders the sister as well. The brothers return from their journey. Where's our sister? A sob story is given. They all cry and they move on. Some time passes and the truth comes out. Now, the death sentence has been given. This saint is now standing, about to be hung. Shaitan comes to this individual and says, look, you're in a lot of trouble here. I can help you. I can get you out. But one condition. Let go of your faith. Disbelieve in Allah and I'll take care of you. Not knowing what to do, he's flustered. He gives up his faith. He proclaims disbelief and Shaitan runs away. What is he left with? He is hung in the state of disbelief. So many lessons that we can take out. Let's walk away with 2 inshaAllah. Number 1, fitan, no matter where we enter from, they all lead to the same pond. It's a domino effect. We say just one puff or one song or one time. It's never just once, my dear brothers. We know this. It's never just once. And by the time we realize how deep we're in, we can't get out. And number 2, Shaitan is not going to leave us alone until he takes us to the doors of kufr. May Allah Ta'ala protect each and every one of us. But my dear brothers, listeners, we have what it takes to stand up to these fitan. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam left us with the solution. Let's take this solution forward. We have the imani strength, this imani power that Allah Ta'ala gave us, that is strengthened through a'mal. This divine light that is strengthened through a'mal, which is our defense system against these fitan. The solution is easy. We know the solution. But let's do what it takes and take this solution forward, bi'idhnillah. We should put our trust in that dua. It can change the home. We should put our trust in those 2 rak'ats of salah. It can change the condition. May Allah Ta'ala grant each and every one of us the ability to stand up to these fitan, to be strong in our a'mal, in our iman. May Allah Ta'ala grant us true taqwa. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.